Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the late night edition of the Maniacs Podcast. Before we get started, Task, I got to shout out Cryptoholics. This is their time slot, and I completely messed up and totally forgot that it was, and graciously they both said they were way too tired to do a show anyway, so gave them a good excuse. But this is in honor of our good friends Nifty and Eric and Nomad Soul. The show is in honor of them tonight, like we had last week with them co-hosting. So yeah, that's my love to them. You know, yeah.
I feel I just am tingly all over, John. After that, I mean, it just I can feel the love and the humanity just coming out of every pore of you. I mean, it is truly breathtaking. I am so impressed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we aim to please. But yes, if you are watching live, it is 9:00 on the East Coast. So a lot of us are getting ready for bed. I know Task is ready for his nightcap and his beauty sleep. Are you?
Well, I mean, with the face like mine, I need all the beauty rest I can get. Obviously, it's not working. I need to sleep more. Yeah, it's. We apologize. I had a conflict, and so I asked John if he could do it a little later, and so this is in keeping with what we do. 2 years, we've only missed one episode, and so we try to be consistent, and sometimes we have to juggle the times, but we try to get 2 shows in every week for y'all. And John was even nice enough to take over the Threadcast, and he put together a wonderful little logo, and got some pics, got some questions. So it's great to see.
Yeah. Someone's asking for the link. I usually send the links out to people. I totally forgot. I will get the links out to people that are viewing, but it is always vim.tv /c/CTP Talk for the Vim channel, and then it's +1 daily actually on YouTube, which really needs to get rebranded. We need to do a big rebrand. That's going to be my pet project this summer. Getting everything for the podcast, because I'm all over the place. We got CTP Talk doing this. I got another old YouTube account doing that. I'm even on my Facebook page today, and I don't even know what the name of my Facebook page is. But, for those of us that still use Facebook. But yeah, that's coming. We're gonna do a big rebrand and make sure everything is all on the up and up for the Maniacs podcast. But it's Thursday, so we got actually quite a few questions from the Threadcast that we posed earlier, but also the post you just made. I don't know. What do you want to tackle first? Do you want to tackle that or the questions first? What do you want to do? Because I definitely want to get into your post. But it's up to you. What do you want to do?
I didn't read the question, so is there any? Are we answering any questions through the post? I mean, is there anything that kind of overlapped or correlated?
Not specifically.
Okay.
I mean, you could definitely get from some of the questions.
All right. Well, tell me, since it's fresh in my mind, since I just wrote the damn thing.
Yeah.
Tell me. Let's start with the post, and we'll get into the questions.
Sounds good. So, Tass just released a post, and I learned about it through Threads. This is kind of the way I'm doing content discovery on Hive these days, is definitely through Threads. So, fun fact, if you want to definitely I'm not saying I'm anything special, but I'm definitely looking for posts on Hive. So, put it out on Threads. But
the problem is there's a lot of people who just spam their posts, and that's all they do.
Well, the way you did it was like the right way to do it. I saw
put together a thread storm, and right. You kind of give a synopsis and then a link at the end to to read the full post.
Right. Instead of just, here's my latest post.
Yeah.
Post. Which kind of is the segue into almost what your post was about, like being short-sighted on the Zeely campaign, what it brought, all the attention it brought, all the love it brought to Threads and to the Leo price, and people literally took their toys and were there for the month, and poof. And you wrote about it. I'm fascinated to hear your in-depth opinion of it. Like, I just read the post and completely agree with it. It's something I've dealt with my entire life in online business. You get a really good idea, you get people really fired up. They're fired up for like a week or two or a month, maybe 2 or 3 months, and then poof, vanished. There's guys that I've worked with for years that get really, really excited, super pumped up for something, and then just disappear. They don't see this stuff through. And what we're seeing with Threads, and specifically with the Zeely campaign, is that we really are at the start of something massive. So your post, if you want to get into it, $10,000 prizes sound really good, but big picture, that might be peanuts.
It's a mouse turd. It's a mouse turd. It's like the old adage, stumbling over a mouse turd. Now it's like everybody's going after a mouse turd. And don't get me wrong. I mean, 10 grand is a lot of money, but it's divided up among a lot of people. And by the way, congratulations to all the winners. It was a fun time. It was a trying time. Of course, congratulations to a Nomad Soul, and thank you to a Nomad Soul for all he did and all the effort he put in. But here's the deal. Yeah, people, I looked at the payouts, and the end of level 3, which was number 20, was about 1,500 Leo power, which right now, and forgive me if I get my math wrong because I'm going from memory here, but I think that's around $125, which is nothing to laugh at. It's nothing to sneeze at. And the person who got it, anybody who's getting it, is, I'm sure very happy with it, and good for you. Right. But you had to be in the top 20. Everybody outside the top 20, it was moving down further and less payout. And if this is a supplement or an adjunct to your threading career, wonderful. It's found money. It's extra money. It's great. But let's put things in perspective. 10 grand. Who gives a crap? 790 grand. That's a much bigger number. That is the move from roughly 3 cents, where we, approximately bottomed out, to the 8 cents now, based upon the market cap. Almost $800,000 in, I don't know, less than a couple months. Now, obviously, somebody could take exception and say, well, you're talking market cap and everything, and in total, yes. But here's the point. If that person with 1,500 Leo staked, if they had 1,500 Leo staked at the beginning, when we were at 3 cents, that was $45. They are now up $75 from where they were. And I went into, and I just happened to grab an upvote on one of Nifty's threads that I gave. And it was like 2 cents, his payout. Nothing, major, nothing enormous, nothing, that he's getting rich over. But this was an upvote I gave on a thread. And I do this, John, dozens and dozens and dozens of times a day, every day, day in and day out. And those people who were still here threading and didn't take the short-sighted tour and say, oh, I did it all for the contest and boom, gone. They're the ones who have long-term vision. Because, and I also made the comparison in the article of what happens, and we all know about ad revenue. We've talked about it on the show a number of times. We've been writing about it. Everybody who has anything to do with Leo is familiar with the ad revenue now. What if Leo gets up to 20 cents?
Right.
Well, all of a sudden, Nifty's thread, his take is no longer 2 cents, it's 5.6 cents. And again, these are nothing numbers till you consider what happens if I give him 10 or 12 upvotes a day. What happens if I give him 100 in a week or 2 weeks? What happens if over the next year I give him 1,000? And that's just me. There's other people on there doing the same thing, like One Alpha, like Cal, and they have higher stake than I do. John goes running around with his sperm whale total. You have, Nomad Souls out there, Nifty's out there. There's other people out there upvoting threads, and I don't know the Leo power of all these different people. I quite frankly don't look at that, so I'm not that concerned. But they're out there doing it, and this is the epitome of micro earning. And yeah, 2 cents, 3 cents coming in doesn't. Who cares? It's nothing. It's only 2 cents. I'm not making anything. Yeah, but if you do it tens of thousands of times over the next year, that adds up into something. And then we're not even talking about price appreciation. We're not even talking about how that'll get you recognized on your long form post. How all of a sudden maybe I do see one of your long form posts and I upvote it because guess what? I happen to recognize your name from Leo Threads, and I'm like, oh, okay, that person's cool. That stuff has an impact. And there's times throughout the day, I'll be honest with you, there's times where, if I'm busy or something, I'll have Leo power, I'll have voting power. What do I need to do? I need to spread it, and I need to spread it quickly. So what I do before the show is out there upvoting at 10 cents or 10% instead of my usual 5%. And I hit the main page with a bunch of upvotes. I mean, it's just mind-boggling to me. And like you said, you've been dealing with this for 20 freaking years. So, I mean, you want to bitch, you want to moan. Listen, poverty starts in the mind. It's one thing to be poor. That's economic circumstances, and that has a lot to do with where you're from and some of the choice you made. And, sometimes you get dealt a bad hand. Hey, we understand that. But poverty is a mindset. And, we're seeing a lot of it. It's like if you don't see the opportunity here. Now, can I guarantee you that Leo's going to be widely successful? No. But I can tell you something else. Why do I have such a big stack of Leo? Because I've been at it for 4 freaking years. And I haven't wavered. I haven't sold any. I've kept stacking. I've kept at it. I kept busy. I've been rewarded. I've been delegating when I can to high power to get the rewards. I do the different things to try to earn myself Leo because I believe in it. And it's one thing if you don't believe in Leo, fine. I mean, but these people don't even give it a second thought. It's like, oh, the contest ended. I'm gone. I mean, what kind of fool are you? In my opinion, how short-sighted are you going to be? You plan on being poor the rest of your life? Because it sure seems like it. Here's an opportunity. And I did use the proverbial, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Right. Leo, speaking of Leo, Nifty he said, after my 69.69 Leo power up today, I am dangerously close to 69K. Do I power up more? Somebody tell me.
Well, I mean, it could be some bad juju if you break that 69 streak, Nifty. You might just have to stack and keep your Leo liquid until you get to 420K Leo. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I mean, you'll have to wait for adult threads so we can talk about this in detail.
Dude. Yeah, well, he also, Nifty just said in Vim too that he votes almost exclusively on threads. And Tokenized Society said, I stole a page from Task Playbook and nuked my voting power on threads the other day.
It's easy to do.
It's easy to do, right? It really is, man. Like
Cal. I mean, Nifty said that jokingly, and maybe he is almost at 69K. I have no idea what's in his wallet. I don't know what's in Tokenized wallet. I know Tokenized has been around a while and been stacking. I didn't know what was in John's wallet till he told me what he was going after. But, add up what's there. And I mean, I'm sure Tokenize is over 10 grand at least. I mean, he might be 20 grand or 30 grand. I don't know. But add up what's there. And these are just people coming forward. There's others out there voting with stake. And like Nifty said, almost exclusively
On
threads.
Yeah.
And, we give out 5% at a time. We give out a few cents at a time, but we do it constantly throughout the day. Right. And it adds up.
Oh, dude. I mean, this was, thanks to, I'm pretty sure it was Nifty and Tokenized even on last week and even this week. I asked, I forget how the conversation came up, but I was like, well, I vote at 5%. And everybody's like, no, vote more. Vote more. So like this week, I've been trying to vote at 10%, and I'm sitting there looking at my voting power. Usually on Hive, what I do is I vote content, and there's people I vote, and just like I like their content, and I'm got a relationship with them, and that's just the way it works in social media. But I've been noticing that I can actually bump up my votes on threads even more now. Not voting more, but increasing the voting percentage. So, I'm doing 5 all the time. I'm like, let's try 10 now. And I'm going to try 10 this week. And then, because to me, this is the big dream. This is what I want to see on Hive as a whole. What I'm seeing on Leo. Hive, people have got massive stakes on Hive, and there's massive stakes on Leo, but the token distribution on Leo, like that's ingrained in the project, is to get the token out as much as possible. And if I can have a small piece to help that's amazing to me. Like that's true Web3. That's true decentralization of a token, is token holders being able to give it out. And it's not only for our benefit, we get 50% back too. So it's just like this. Man, this just gets me going about.
I mean, people can come into Leo Finance and just start threading, get run across by Tokenize or Nifty or myself or you or Cal or One Alpha or whoever else, Eric, a Nomad Soul. All the other people are out there. I mean, Bradley is out there voting. I don't know what he has, 5,000-6,000 maybe. All these different people are out there voting. Bitcoin Flood probably is doing it. He's on there quite frequently. So I would imagine, I didn't check to see if he's voting. But, I would imagine he's up giving votes too. And it all adds up. And then here's the kick in the nuts. If you have nuts, proverbial speaking, if you don't.
Right. Yeah.
By being active, by creating more threads, by commenting, by engaging, by having conversations, guess what? That increases the ad revenue, which is going to be used to buy Leo off the open market, which is a thing called buy demand, which means it should push the price of Leo higher, all things being equal. And if that's the case, guess what happens with your Leo power? You get more Leo because that's where it's distributed. So when you sit there and say, oh, I got 1,500 Leo, great, I'm going to take the Leo and sell it and goodbye. It's like, you're a jackass.
Yeah.
Because you put that 1,500. Now, here's something else we didn't mention. You can curate too. So whatever you have, you curate. Like you just said, John, you get 50% of it back. So whatever your vote's worth, you get 50% of it back, plus whatever you have staked, your percentage of the whole versus the staked, I presume, since we haven't seen the details of how this is, but it's presumed that, whatever you have staked compared to the rest of the stake, that'll be your percentage. So if there's, 100,000 Leo distributed, you get X percent of that. If there's 250,000 Leo distributed, you get X percent of that, whatever it is. And it may not seem like much, but we know that typically curation rewards are somewhere between, let's say, 7.5% and maybe 9% is probably the range most people fall in. A few are higher, a few are lower, but 7.5% to 9%. Plus, what are you going to get? Maybe another 10% on the ad rewards? I don't know. I mean, we have no basis to go on at this point. But I mean, what if it's 10%? What's 15%? What if it's 20%? I mean, we don't know. And it's like, oh, I took my $1,500, I sold it for, $125. Bye. I mean, and I understand if you need the money, fine. You sell, take the money, but get back in there and get busy. Nifty's ready to upvote.
Right. Oh, dude, he just said that. He's like every thread he's upvoting in the Threadcast right now for the show. So I mean, like,
I'll go through after because I did save some for that.
He saved some voting power.
I know, I knew we had questions, so it's like, I mean, it's, I don't know. It's
like you said, dude. This is what all situations are different, right? Everyone's got a story. Everyone's going through something. We get it. I know this time last year I had to power down some Hive. I didn't want to do it, but I had to. The difference was, and this is where you hit it right perfectly. I didn't just power down and then stop, right? If I got the Leo rewards from that campaign and just cashed out and stopped, that's idiotic. That's insanity. Now, I saw some people take, let's say, half of what they got and powered it up for LPUD, and then they sold the other half, but they're still active. So the key is the activity. Not what you do. It's your crypto. Whatever you want to do with it. No one can judge you on what you do with your crypto. Every situation is different. But it's the kicker is after that, it's just like, wah, wah, wah. No, get back in it. Because like you said, it all adds up. The micropayments all add up. The consistency all adds up. So the next time that there's this big, massive campaign, you'll know what it takes and how beneficial it is to be active and all this stuff. And beautiful things happen. But the worst thing you could do is just sell out and then stop. Like, that's the worst.
Yeah, and you know what? Now One Alpha's doing his Boom Quest or whatever it is, which I guess he's going out and giving pretty healthy upvotes or whatever. That's great. I mean, that's what the deal is. I mean, there are opportunities outside of Zealy.
Yeah.
Just show up. Things compound, things grow, and you never know. You leave you engage and stuff like that. And you start to get on my radar, you get on Nifty's radar, you get on Django's radar. And as I said, all of a sudden you throw a link up there and it's, you do maybe a thread storm and Nifty sees it and Nifty's been talking to you. And all of a sudden Nifty says, well, let me see what this one is. He reads through it, clicks on the link to your thread, to your post and says, wow, I really like this. Maybe he gives you a follow. Maybe he gives you an upvote. Maybe he who knows what he does? Maybe he reblogs it. It's like you just don't know.
No.
But you have to be active. And, the biggest problem, John, is we know exactly what's going to happen. The price of Leo gets to 30 cents or Leo threads, some of what Eric's doing, some of what other people are doing. All of a sudden, this place gets active, a few more features, better filtering, things like that. This place takes off. And then those same damn people will be back and they'll be complaining about, oh, well, I wish I was like you guys and bought in at 3 cents or 5 cents, or you guys are lucky, or this or that, or hi, I'm back. And, I have no Leo.
I had something happen in my life and now I'm back and I'm focused. Yeah, I've heard it.
And it's
everyone goes through stuff.
Why do I have 430,000 Leo? Because I've been on Leo every freaking day for the past 4 years, not 40 days. What's 4 times 365? 12 to 40, like 1,460 days.
Yes, more than one day.
1,460 days I've been on Leo, roughly. Yeah. And, that's what it takes. It's like, I mean, I even have Bradley now ask him where I am when I'm not here. It's like the guy's my online stalker. He's like,
It's okay. Yeah.
it's like, yeah, well, I know he's living on some island and he can't get to the mainland, so I'm safe. If he was on the continent of North America, I might be worried, but he's on an island, so it's,
fair enough. Yeah,
doesn't bother me. No, it's like, and that's what happens. It's like, I mean, and Leo, the other thing is with this notification system. I mean, I've had more conversations with Nifty in the past month and a half or 3 weeks or whatever it's been with this new notification I have the whole time on Hive, because all of a sudden I can ping them. I just put up a thread at Nifty. Well, not at Nifty, obviously.
whatever that username is.
His username. Yeah. By the way, Nifty, you got to fix that, buddy. But so I go to his profile and then I copy his. But I do that with Tokenized at Tokenized Society. It's like ping them. It's like, hey, what time are you going to be on or whatever, and you get responses because it's like. It's in their notification. They scroll down their notification. It's like they see it, they answer it, and I end up upvoting their answer, and it's like, okay, and we have conversations back and forth. It's just, and then you have people sitting there saying, well, when are you going to add in B chat? And I understand, for privacy, but for most purposes, I mean, let's be honest, most stuff. I mean, hell, even most of the stuff you and I talk about, John. I mean, we probably could do it publicly. I mean, there's not anything that's privy. At least 90% of what we could do. It's like just leave a thread. Hey, Django, what time are we going to do the show tonight? Are you available? I mean, I could have sent that, through threads. It wouldn't have been any big deal. But I don't know. It's watching things, John. It's just, enjoy getting up and going to your job. And I'm not saying that to you. These people, it's the same thing. Where are you going to be in 5 years? You're going to be getting up with the alarm clock, getting in your car, driving and fighting your way through traffic to go into that office and look at a computer and deal with some asshole boss and piss and moan and whine about it. Just like you do now, you're going to be doing that in 5 years. Because, I mean, here's an opportunity and not taking advantage of it. Is there a guarantee? No. Could all of my Leo go down the pipe and end up being zero? Yes, it's possible. But, you got to stake your future on something. And it's like, okay, here's what I'm staking it on. And, if it works out, I'll benefit in a big way. If it doesn't work out, well, I've had a lot of fun. And that's the other thing. I mean, Nifty and I get together and the level of conversation tends to start at sewer and then we start drilling down. We
subterranean.
We tend to take it down to a level. It's not exactly Pulitzer Prize winning conversations, but we have a lot of fun doing it and we don't give a shit. So, that's it. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And by the way, we got upvotes to give each day.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a guy, Wealth Ness, I think, Wealth Ness, something like that. This guy's been posting, of late. He's like the football newscaster. He's posted all types of stuff about European and UCL and all this other football stuff and goings-ons and what's happening in the offseason, who's signing with who. And I keep upvoting him, and he's like, thanks for the upvote. I'm like, no problem. Keep doing it. I'll keep upvoting it. It's great to have that type of stuff on threads. I mean, it's not, I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know one player from another and sign with another team. But, RM Sacre gets all excited and other footballers get excited. It's great.
I'm going to get you going here, man. We're going to get into the questions. Before we do, from Cal. Once Taskmaster says the magic word, we'll release the long form edit button. Ready, go. That's
fucking asshole. Fucking asshole.
I don't think that's the magic word.
There is no magic word. I'll tell you what that son of a bitch did. I guarantee you, he had edit button like number 2 on his to-do list. And because I've been busting his balls about, he probably put it at like number 422 or 420. Maybe
Good,
it's going to
man.
be at number 69, Nifty. I don't know. But
Make them
I think this is like the Loch Ness monster. We've heard about it, but we'll never see it in the wild. I don't know. But,
let's get into people's questions, because oh boy, there's my fancy graphic, courtesy of Canva. I like it. I don't know.
I'm
I think
impressed. I love it.
I even used the orange from the Leo logo. So there you go for Threadcast. See that? I'm quite
impressive.
Yeah, it's Canva, man. It ain't me. Like, to tell me to go do that on Photoshop and watch me go. No, yeah. Anyways, let's dive into people's questions. Jay Fang wanted to know because he was worried. He saw me do it. He's like, "What's going on with?" It's okay. This was the official one for tonight. We'll go back.
Jay Fang, ever the observant one, and he doesn't like change much either, I guess.
Well, speaking of Jay Fang and Cal, they decided to have a little bit of fun at your expense again, too. What does Tass say about this response I got from Cal when I asked about the long form editing? Cal said, I would say soon, but I'd rather say never.
See, I told you, he's just trying to push my buttons.
I like it.
I mean, it's I do have to apologize to the entire Leo community because you will never, ever, ever get the edit button, it seems, because of me. It's all my fault, And so now I'm going to have to make fun of Cal even twice as much. And wait till you see what he's in. You thought the foot fetish was a little odd. Wait till you find the reveal of some of his other fetishes.
We should move on.
He might need to, Nifty, he might need to move the NSFW filtering. He may need to move that to the top quickly.
So before the mute button, the NSFW. Yeah. I can't keep up. Too many acronyms, man. Jay Fang actually did have a question, though.
Is it a gaming question?
Yes, that's actually, he said, the end of it is Taskmaster loves these questions about games. No, so he said, what do you think about having a governance system on games? I recently saw that Hash Kings also started creating its own governance system. And for those unaware, obviously SPS is the governance token for Splinterlands, which a lot of people are familiar with. Hash Kings is doing this. It's whatever. I mean, yeah.
Well, it depends on what you do with it. Having a governance token, then doing whatever the hell you want means nothing. I mean, it's if people actually have governance, it's probably a good thing to give your community, whether it's a game or whether it's something like Leo Finance or CTP. It's good to give your community a say in the direction of where things are going. So I would think, for games, it's a wonderful idea, but at the end of the day, is it just for show? I mean, and I'm not saying that, him citing Hash Kings, I have no idea about it. So I'm not a bit making any accusations. If Hash Kings puts out a governance token and then they somehow figure out through either polls on Leo Finance or some other mechanism to, give people say in what they're doing with either the game or the assets or whatever. Wonderful. I mean, that's decentralization. That's Web3.
Yeah, it goes back to the famous "they call me Dan" quote. Everything starts off centralized. It's what you do with it after that matters. So a governance token sounds great for games if it's implemented properly and it's actually decentralized and it's actually a governance token and governance system for it. Yeah, but you got to remember that a lot of these games like still having control of everything. They control. I'm not saying Hive games. I'm saying games in general. I mean, that's just the way they make their money. So having something decentralized, unless you're really it's in you, it's ingrained in you to build something decentralized. A lot of people will say things are decentralized, but they're not really. You know, I mean,
Jack Dorsey's a case in point.
right? Yeah, we all want decentralization, but let's just watch what Jack does. We have actually a response from Cal. He said, "My only real fetish is hearing Taskmaster talk shit while Nifty poses feet pics." Golf clap. Golf clap. I like it.
And for anybody listening,
Yeah.
that just captured three of the more prominent threaders that are running around, or three of the top 5 or 6 who are usually around every day. So maybe that article about that I just wrote, maybe it was misguided, because maybe this place is going to the toilet, and we're the Pied Piper leading them there.
Pretty much. I like it. I'm here with it, though. I'm going down with the shit.
So Nifty's posted feet pics, huh?
Apparently. That's
breaking
news on the Maniacs.
That's very nifty.
Very nifty. Tokenized friend of the show wants to know, hey, John, with the new job, are you having time to play your favorite game, Code of Conduct? Dude, they're just ripping on you today. Like, they're just, you don't remember that. Do you remember that on Tuesday? You were trying to reference Call of Duty, but you called it Code of Conduct.
Whatever. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit? Who cares? It's Web 2. If we call it fuckbook, who cares? It's Web 2. I'm Web 3. I'm not a gamer. And you want to bust my chops?
Tokenized.
Hey,
I haven't played.
Don't forget, I'll have to look for it, but there is a downvote button on Threads. Maybe I'll use my voting power to downvote on Threads. I don't know.
Dude. To answer the question, Tokenized,
by the way, Code of Conduct just pissed off their fan base. Is that the game Call of Duty that
they all do? They all
somebody did.
Yeah.
They just they just kicked off one of their couple of their biggest gamers or something.
Yeah, Activision did or something. I don't know, dude. I can't keep up with it. But this kind of answers the question. I haven't been paying attention. I haven't played the game. I haven't played Call of Duty for about 2 years. Just kind of had enough. Kind of the same thing I did with Splinterlands. Not that I don't think it's a great game, and I just had enough. You know, it's just you kind of get to a point in your life where it's just like, nah. So I don't even know what's going on in Call of Duty. I have no idea. I literally Tokenize when I get home. I go on Threads, or I'm hanging out with my kids. Or now my new thing is going to the barn and making sure the chickens haven't been attacked by owls and fun things like that. So that's always fun. That's what my life is.
Farmer John, E-I-E-I-O.
Oh, how did I get to this point? Tokenize actually does have a question, a serious question. Now we got to be serious. Okay, because the ads are showing up there, as you can see. The ads, the crypto slots is showing up. That's good.
We're back. We're back to Coinzilla.
Coinzilla up top isn't showing right here. Oh, it is showing. Never mind. Yeah, look at that. Coinzilla loves us again.
Well,
Coinzilla.
So no more Google ads.
Yeah, I was back and forth. I don't know.
Maybe the Google ads, they crashed last night, so who knows? Maybe the site.
Tokenize wants to know, is it technically possible to wrap an NFT from one blockchain to another like it's done with normal tokens? Interesting question.
Yes, it's just data.
Yeah.
I mean, it's well, it would depend on the protocol on the other chain, but if you're on an EVM, I don't see any reason why you can't go from one EVM to another EVM and have something on Ethereum and also have something on like BSC or Polygon, because what is it? I think it's ERC 721, and I think they have BRC and whatever
Right.
Polygon calls it for those. So I think they support the protocols to go from like an EVM to Cardano. I don't know, or to EOS. I don't know. I would imagine they have smart contracts, so there's might be something to it. But yeah, again, you have to be able to access a smart contract.
There you go. I give free compliments. Actually, had a comment there, and they were talking to something about Reddit, and they said they were going to remove the comment. So I'm not totally sure, but it got some upvotes. So thank you. I think there's another question from free compliments coming up, but might possibly any idea why they made it so that you need to create a separate 3Speak TV account before you can connect it to your Hive account? I'm sure there's a good reason for this. I'm just curious about why. I did not know that. I thought you could always I've connected all my accounts. Do you know about this?
I think he's talking the email. I think you
the email.
The email, what you guys did with your stuff too. I don't know the reasoning behind that. I don't know if it's a security issue so it can be retrieved. I don't know what it is. I mean, they don't send you any email, so it wasn't a marketing tactic.
Right.
Not
like us at CTP. We love to send you emails.
I don't know what it was. I honestly have no idea. That would be a question for Starkers or Vaultec.
Yeah. Yeah, not totally sure, but if it was the email thing, it's just probably just database stuff, just like Taz said. So I give free compliments. For any new viewers who might be seeing this podcast for the first time or hearing it, in simple terms, how would you describe Hive and Leo Finance? Why should they use this platform rather than any other platform? Well, Nifty wanted us to start talking about Ethereum. Well, that will be the reason why. First of all, you want to use Hive and Leo Finance because you don't need to worry about MetaMask and Ethereum and gas fees.
Did you see Nifty's poll, or not really a poll, it wasn't a poll, but his thread that he put out about you?
Oh, with the
top three things, or the top things you most hate about Ethereum.
Yeah. Yeah, it's man, I could write a post. Actually, I did write a post a couple weeks ago about it. How much more than 3 things I hate about it, but I get it.
I mean, to me, the question that he asked, it's summed up in this is Web3. I mean, it's I don't know how to explain it any other way. If you look at the combination of social media and finance, you look at what they call me Dan and Starkers talk about Web3 all the time: censorship resistant, account ownership, decentralization, distribution, all of that. You have that at the base layer. With Leo Finance, again, you talked about, John, the distribution. We know the polls are going to have stake weighted voting in them, or parameters that can be set up based upon stake. So obviously that's something that Cal's thinking about in the future, and to add to it, and that type of stuff. So, and Dan's right, you move in the direction. So you can give feedback on Leo Finance. You can micro earn. You can, why are you going to spend your time on Twitter when you can do the same damn thing on Threads? And, as we were talking about my post, where you can earn yourself a couple cents. And that's my upvote at 5%. Cal comes through and hits you at 5% if he's voting at that. I don't know what he's voting. Trust me, he's dropping more than a couple cents on you. And, it adds up over time, and you can be part of a community. You can be an early adopter. You can be a trailblazer. And this is, if we do it right, this is where the future is going. So, that's why I would say you should be over here and not worry about the other places, because at the end of the day, what John was getting to, I still fail to see how social media and transaction fees work. To me, it's a non-starter. It's game over at that point, even if it's a penny or a fraction of a penny in transaction fees. Because first off, for all the upvotes that we give each day, are we going to pay half a cent a day even? Maybe, but the problem is with Leo, I can go click 5%, 5%, 5%, click, 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 click. You know, what do I do on Ethereum? I go, okay, upvote, and then I got to wait for MetaMask to pop up, and then I got to hit the submit. I mean, not on Ethereum, excuse me, on Polygon. I mean, it'll take 30 seconds to give an upvote. It's just, and maybe you can get around that and you don't have to build that into every transaction. But at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff, in my opinion, is not possible elsewhere. And that's why you see somebody like Cal, who's explored a lot of other blockchains. Don't think he doesn't know what's going on with these other blockchains. He's built on them, he's used them, and yet he's building more and more on Hive. And then wait till we get our side chains and what Vaultec and Disregard are working on with their different projects and Speak Network and VSC. That'll open up, I mean, the questions earlier about gaming. I mean, that'll give Hash Kings what Vaultec's working on. That'll give Hash Kings a lot of options because that's what he's really building it for, is gaming to start. So, I mean, to me, this is home, but this is also the home that only makes sense.
Yeah. A few answers from Cal here, just so to kind of answer what you asked. He said, yeah, he's usually at 5%, and that's about 20 cents worth of Leo. So that ain't bad.
That's it's about 10 cents. So if Cal comes through and hits your stuff, and trust me, Cal's going through at different times through the day, and he's just hitting up a whole bunch of threads with upvotes. And now from him, he's giving out dimes each time to the person's take. Yeah. I mean, it's, okay, it's only a dime. Well, if he does that over 100 times over a month, well, on your account, or 1,000 times over a year, or 5,000 times over a year, it's going to add up. And if you're around, he'll find you. Trust me.
Yep. And he also mentioned about the ad protocol. He said they did a bunch of updates to it. You'll notice more ads and actually banners showing up, not just placeholders. Both Google and CoinZilla are working more. Zilla pays more, so it's the default. If no Zilla ads, Google ads will replace it. So it's pretty slick. That's pretty cool. So,
yeah. See, and if I can jump in and go back to my article, this is what's baffling. During the Zealy campaign, the first couple of weeks were major debugging. And we went into beta and the Zealy campaign kicked off simultaneously.
Right.
And, okay, the decision was quickly made. Listen, the month of May is debugging. Okay, it needed to be done. I agree. You throw it out in the wild, you don't have much choice. I mean, there's only so much testing you can do. But I've talked about ad revenue since it was first mentioned. And it's been getting more and more consistent that I've been bringing it up over the last 6 months. Cal has dropped hints about it. Other people have talked about it. It's not like we kept it a damn secret. And I say we, members of the community. I mean, I'm not involved in these decisions, but it's like we talk about it. It's mentioned on the AMA. Cal and Kat have talked about it on the AMA for at least since the first of the year, probably going back long before that. But consistently, regularly, this is what's going on. We're looking at this. We're looking at that. I mean, Cal's very good about saying, it's not immediate, but it's in the works. And over the last 3 weeks, look at all we've seen relating to the ad revenue stuff. This is materializing right before your eyes. And because the Zealy campaign ended, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, or whatever, it's like the Zealy campaign ended and the counter was added. And it's like, well, what's this here for? Oh, well, because page views is important for advertising. Oh, right. All of a sudden we have Google ads. It's like, wow, we got Google ads. Oh, everybody knows what Google ads are. And, now we got CoinZilla and Google ads. And if CoinZilla runs out, we get Google ads filling in. I mean, do you see progression here? And there will be an article at some point. I don't know when. I'm hoping it's soon, but there will be an article at some point that says we are planning going live with this, or we have gone live with this, or the contract's in place and it went live, something to that effect.
Yeah.
And we'll
Enjoy your Leo. It's coming.
Yeah, we'll get that. I don't know. I don't have any inside information, but I'm saying probably in the next month, maybe next 2 months. I don't know. I mean, if you ask Cal, he'll say soon. And Cal wants it as soon as possible, I'm sure. But obviously, you see, there's issues, and they do stuff and change stuff, and then all of a sudden the site blows up, and it's like, okay, well, we got to fix all this now before we can move forward. So that's fine, but you can see the progress. Well, at least we can. Those who left can't see shit because they're gone.
I love just the comments are just hilarious. It's hard to keep up with them because they're very witty. Everyone's very witty tonight. I like it. Lisa has a question. 3Speak. What happened to all the videos that were on my 3Speak channel? Is that because whatever they are doing there, I haven't been able to access them at all? Does anyone else have this issue?
I didn't look. I thought all mine are there. I didn't notice anything different.
I haven't noticed it either. I mean, I uploaded our podcast on Tuesday and they were all there, and I was kind of marveling at how many views I've had on 3Speak compared to my YouTube channels. It's hilarious. Like, YouTube might have got 600 views total. 3Speak, tens of thousands. It's great. Love it. Web3. But yeah, sorry, Lisa. I don't know. I haven't heard of that. I don't know if anyone else has seen that. Well.
I just uploaded my stuff earlier, and I just presumed to upload. I didn't even look, but I don't know. I don't know what she's referring to. So if you're having an issue, I'd go to their Discord and go into issues and ping Eddie at Eddie Spino. He's a good one to ping, and he'll read it and look into it and respond. He's very good at that.
Eddie will help you out for sure.
Yeah.
Nifty has two questions, one for me, one for you. For John, when in-depth MetaMask tutorial? It's funny. One of my first projects ever in crypto was called Bitcoin Bully, and I did tutorials on, and this was pre-Steam. Okay, this is like I did this before I was even on Steam, and I was talking to people about how to buy Bitcoin, and I don't even think MetaMask was around then. Like it might have been there. It was like Open Ledger or something. Like I can't even. But I actually did a tutorial on something like that back in the day. It's trash, and definitely don't go search it because it will probably lead you to destruction.
Well, I mean, I'm going to ask this on behalf of Cal because I know Cal's interested. John, when are you going to do a live tutorial on technical analysis and helping everybody to trade better? Because I think you know your support and resistance and your RSI and your MACD crossovers. And
Yeah, never. It's not happening. Nifty has a question for you specifically, and this must be an inside joke because this sounds like, when will the principal release us from detention? That has to be an inside joke. So.
The principal is referring to, what did I call him today? I forget. Not the emperor, but the principal is Cal, and Nifty and I we're going to stray into new ground with Leo threads, and we got called into the principal's office, had to put our hands, and he went old school and hit us with a ruler. So Nifty and I have to behave. This is behaving, by the way, everybody. Nifty and I are behaving. We can't go into our new virgin territory, Nifty. Although our new territory probably doesn't have many virgins in it, but
boy, oh boy. Oh man, this is the late night show, right? So
it's midnight somewhere, Django, so it's okay. So that's the inside joke. Cal is the principal, and Nifty and I got a little out of line, and we got called to the principal's office.
That's okay. Jessica Gomez, friend of the show, she actually said a couple things, but one of the things that she mentioned, and Dave actually responded to her, which is great. She said, funny enough, she mentioned this when we were talking about Hive and Leo. My Leo count is valued higher than my Hive account right now.
Mhm.
And that's not going to be a rare thing for people. Not that people aren't into Hive, but this is the dream, I think, of layer 2. People can build, Leo, on Hive, and the Hive token is kind of like this, not an afterthought, but it's like you're trying to get the Leo. You're trying to build
Yeah,
Leo. You're trying to be on Leo.
I've said that for years, Django, and I think Leo is going to be it's going to be the first community. Splinterlands was the first one to do this because people came for Splinterlands. They wanted Splinterlands stuff. They didn't care about Hive. Yeah. But I believe Leo, and maybe I'll be wrong on this. And you know what? To be honest with you, what's happening with Leo, I would love to be wrong and somebody else to usurp this. But the value of Leo as an entity on the second layer is going to drive people to fill their wallets. And yes, it's not going to be surprising if people have more value in Leo than they do on Hive. And also, and here's another thing, and Cal's listening, so I think he'll like this viewpoint. I think that's where the dynamic changes, because what Hive lacks is wealth. And so what we need to do is develop second layer wealth and drive value to the second layer through our building, through the network effects that take these second layer tokens and push them up in value through business principles, through building, through, sustainable means. And then you're talking a totally different game, because suddenly now you're like Ethereum. The thing, and Marky always said this: if you want to go where the money is, that's Ethereum. That's why everybody goes there. It's huge money. You develop something, you throw something out there, you'll get paid, and you'll make a lot of money. It may not work worth a damn. It may not be feasible, but you'll get paid.
Right.
And that's exactly what the layer 2 is. And the idea is, and I've talked about creating millionaires on Hive, and I didn't mean through the Hive token. I didn't mean through HBD. I didn't mean by millionaires coming and putting their HBD and getting their 20%. I was talking about layer 2. And, what if Leo Finance created over the next 5 or 10 years, 100 millionaires? I mean, it's, people started filling their bags, and you have the inflation rate and you get involved, and then all of a sudden you have the capability maybe of taking your stake and using it as collateral. Then you can get involved in other things. Maybe there's NFTs, maybe there's different things that are tied in, maybe there's a game built at some point, maybe, and who knows where we're going to be in 5 or 7 years. And what happens if Leo Threads takes off and gets 5, 7, 10, 15 million threads and comments a day? Suddenly you have a network of effect because there's, millions of people on here. Who knows what the token will be worth? Because how many tokens are you going to have at that point? 20 million? That's not a lot of tokens per person. I mean, it's going to go and skyrocket.
Yep. Good point. Cal had a question here. What do you guys think about think of BlackRock and their ETF proposal? Odds it goes through? BlackRock is the biggest name to ever try an ETF for BTC, and it always gets rejected. What do you think, sir? Because
it's with Gensler being just such a corrupt motherfucker that he is. It's not. It wouldn't surprise me, Cal, if traditional Wall Street gets approved, because you've had ARK, you've had Grayscale. You've had a number of other companies. Van Eyck tried it. So it wouldn't surprise me that he suddenly says, oh, okay, well, traditional Wall Street, we stalled long enough, so now you can get in. Of course, I would believe if he opens that door, and for those who don't know, there are Bitcoin ETFs they're not spot price. They're based on the futures market, because Gensler in his whacked out mind somehow figures out that has determined that the spot price can be manipulated, but somehow the futures market is a hell of a lot safer. Obviously, he never heard of Libor in the future, what they did with that futures market, and that was like $2 trillion. But anyway, it wouldn't surprise me if he turns it over, because that's what regulators do in America. It's a revolving door. Gensler is a Goldman Sachs guy. He's a Wall Street guy. That's in his blood. And I wouldn't surprise. I mean, I said this in a video a couple of weeks ago. I first thought Gensler was out to destroy cryptocurrency. And then after a couple other actions, I said, no, he's not out to destroy it. He's out to give it and put it in Wall Street's hands. So, to be honest with you, I don't know the percentage. I don't know if he'll waver on this, but if he does, it would be to somebody like BlackRock, because, it's Wall Street, and they'll say, oh, okay, it's BlackRock's safe.
Yeah. It's always been slow it down so that we, Wall Street, big banks, can get enough of this so the everyday common folk can't have it, and we'll just manipulate the market because we got all the tools, we got all the money, we got all the ways to separate you from your money, and we'll just get more and more and more. This is what crypto represents. Crypto represents a complete flipping of not wealth, but just like it is wealth. It's you're able to be your own bank, and they don't like that because it takes money away from them. So they'll do whatever they can to slow it down so that their buddies on Wall Street get as much as possible.
Well, that was like all the people on crypto in like 2017 and 2018 saying, when's Wall Street going to come? I'm like, are you people assholes? Are you really that fucking stupid? And it's people on Hive, well, Steam at that time were saying it. It's like, are you that fucking stupid? Honestly, because you don't want these vultures coming in. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not going to win. At the end of the day, they'll take over Ethereum. I've already made that known. I believe that's going to be a banker chain. Bitcoin ain't going anywhere because of the simple, in terms of medium exchange, because it's a simple fact. Michael Saylor has his Bitcoin. That's now out of circulation. He's not going to sell it. In a couple of years, he'll be able to leverage it for as much money as he wants. You'll get these other Wall Street entities in, and they're just going to buy it and hold it. And so if you think it's ever going to be a medium of exchange, there's going to be like 4 Bitcoin out there. So there's a lot of stuff going on when you start to include Wall Street. But the counter to that is what we've been talking about. The counter to that is Leo Finance. The counter to that is these small projects that go under the radar, that are nothing, that are not financially focused that they're a threat, but over time it can grow because it's a Trojan horse. It's social media, it's threading, it's Twitter on the blockchain. We'll have a few NFTs for threads. Maybe we'll have a little DeFi incorporated. It's nothing much. But then of course you get 1.5 million people involved, and it's like, next thing you know, it's like, where the hell did that come from? And hopefully by that time it's so distributed, so decentralized that they can't do shit about it. It's like, oh well, we tried to go after it, but it's like, oh well, they're using revenue to buy those tokens, distribute the revenues, go nail them. It's all run through a smart contract. They don't even touch the money. It's like, we can't touch that. Oh, well, they're doing this. Sorry, there's like 4 websites that do the same thing. We can't touch it. What do you do? And that's what decentralization brings to the table. This is the Eurodollar system from a financial standpoint. People need to know that. That's why I talk about it. The difference with Eurodollar system versus cryptocurrency, that was a closed system. You had to be a bank to get involved, but they created their own products. They created their own form of money. They created their own lending. They created everything, and they fund 90% of global trade, and they do it with shit they make: interest rate swaps, mortgage-backed securities, CDOs, you name it, they're using it. We have the same opportunity. The difference is, you don't have to be a bank. Anybody can do this stuff. And as the tools go into place, people better start to realize that they can do it. The difference is with a Leo Finance, you have a team that is gaining the experience of how to do this stuff and is always open to taking the feedback and adding more, getting the tentacles to spread out further to ultimately offer. I mean, I do like what Cal said. I mean, he's using the mindset of the everything app. In fact, I asked a question today because there's the listings on Twitter now. And I know Cal had mentioned in the past, and I'm like, I didn't pay any attention to what the hell you're talking about. What are you talking about? And he explained it. And I said, well, there you go. Don't let Elon get ahead of us. And he's like, never. I mean, that's the idea. Whatever they're doing, we're going to incorporate. And, we keep building and merging these two together as the foundation of Web 3.0. I mean, that's the sales pitch to me. And it's like, you look out in all the crypto world. Where do you see that? Tell me.
Right here. Everyone else is just responses, and that we did tackle them, but I want to highlight what Nifty said just before. He said, everyone's always hating on my username, but they fail to mention my superpower. My superpower is having no friends and no one can tag me. He's savvy. I'll give him that. He's on top of it.
I mean, that's nifty logic for you. If you can follow it, good luck on you. I mean, it's the big question, Nifty, is have you told your wife how lucky she is to have you today? Did you remind her? You don't want her to forget. So remind her of that.
He's professional. That's what he says. Apparently, we broke Leo too. The ad revenue was through the roof for tonight's Threadcast. I think over 100 views, which is fantastic. You guys showed up and showed out, and we appreciate you. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. The late night hour was a lot of fun. Task and I need to go to bed because it's like time for beauty rest, but I liked it. I liked the show, man. Did you have fun, Task?
I had a lot of fun. I mean, J-Fang, Cal, Nifty, and Tokenize. I got to make my list of people who I no longer like.
No. Well, I like everybody. I'll be the good cop. You can be the bad cop.
You're just like, are you going to break into a song and start singing Kumbaya?
I'm all for it, man.
I mean, you're Mr.
I love
like,
everybody.
I mean, like, did you like go to a hippie commune like yesterday or something? Like, take the day off? I mean, you're like kind of this free love and, I love everybody. And it's like, are you going to start practicing yoga and chanting and, wearing tie-dye T-shirts? And I mean, I'm sure Dave Dickey could send you some. He probably
Yes. Dave Dickey said that his Leo account was getting up there to hive value too. So
that in all seriousness, there are going to be a lot of people like that, and that's what we want. And especially if somebody has a decent hive account, so it's not like they're trying to they got 10 or 20 or 30 hive or 150 hive just to be able to have the resource credits. They got a healthy hive account and they surpass it in value. And by the way, we're only at 8 cents. Somebody asked when 10 cents, are we going to hit 10 cents in July? My answer to that was depends on when the ad revenue smart contract goes live. And when that goes live, I think at a minimum, it will put the price over 10 cents just on its buying. And then I think others will finally start to realize, what these people have been talking about for a year and a half is real. And they need to get involved. So I think you have two things that'll happen. Is the first thing is the bot buys on behalf of the ad revenue. And then the second thing is then people start FOMOing in.
Yep.
Just my guess, but we'll see.
I agree, man. I think it's coming. The speech will be, you guys were so lucky at 3 and 4 cents to buy in.
Where are you getting that from, John? Have you seen that movie a couple times?
Couple times. Everyone screaming like, anyways, we won't get into it. Guys, you have a fantastic weekend. Be good to each other. Go have fun on Threads. Go out there, engage. Don't let the negative Nancy's get you down. Get out there and have some fun. Toodles.